By now, you've likely heard about the case of Steve Shand of Florida. He's facing a human smuggling charge at this point after a family of four from India was found froze to death along the Canadian border this week. We now have more details in this case from the federal criminal complaint. A Homeland Security agent says this case may be part of a larger smuggling operation that apparently included a stop at a Grand Forks hotel. Reading from the criminal complaint written by a Homeland Security agent, we are changing the names of specific law enforcement personnel to agent. From the criminal complaint, quote, on January 19th, I responded to a request for assistance from the Border Patrol agent in PEMBINA, North Dakota. The agent told me that Steve Shand, a suspected smuggler of undocumented foreign nationals, had been arrested near the U.S.-Canadian border earlier in the day for transporting two Indian nationals who were illegally present in the United States. The agent told me that the group of five Indian nationals illegally present in the U.S. were also identified and arrested near the time and place of Shand's arrest. 6 of the 7 arrested foreign nationals were present at the PEMBINA Border Patrol Station. One of the foreign nationals was hospitalized for cold injuries. Upon responding to the Border Patrol Station in PEMBINA, I observed that Shand had been driving a white-colored 15-passenger van with Missouri license plate. The van contained plastic cups, cases of bottled water, juice, snacks located in the extreme rear of the van behind the last seat. 2 sales receipts from Walmart in Fargo were found with the drinks and snacks. Both were dated January 18th. The receipts listed in the for the drinks and snacks found in the van indicated they were related to their purchase. The agent showed me 3 other documents that had been found in the van driven by Shand. The first document was a rental agreement for a van from Enterprise Rent-A-Car located at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport, dated January 17th. The due date for the return of the van to Enterprise was January 20th. The Enterprise agreement was in Shand's name and indicated he resided in Deltona, Florida. The second document was a rental agreement for a full-size passenger van from Alamo Rent-A-Car at Minneapolis Airport, dated January 10th. The due date for the return of that passenger van was January 13th. The Alamo agreement was also in Shand's name and indicated he was from Deltona, Florida. The third document was a room rental receipt from the Hotel La Quinta by Wyndham in Grand Forks, dated January 11th. The receipt was in Shand's name and gave his address as Deltona, Florida. In the property belongings to the undocumented foreign nationals, I observed that 5 of them were outfitted with identical cold weather gear. They each had what appeared to be new black in color winter coats with fur-trimmed hoods, black gloves, and insulated rubber boots. The other 2 foreign nationals had new-looking boots, coats, hats, and gloves, but not identical to the others. I also observed in Shand's property that he was in possession of a set of black gloves that matched the gloves belonging to the 5 foreign nationals with matching cold weather clothing. I learned that all the foreign nationals spoke Gujarati, a language spoken in Gujarat in western India. Most had limited or no English language speaking ability. The agent informed me that Shand is a naturalized United States citizen who was born in Jamaica and naturalized in 2010. The agent states that queries of the Department of Homeland Security computer systems and coordination with Canadian law enforcement produced no records of Shand lawfully crossing from the United States to Canada or Canada to the United States. The agent reviewed another agent's report who encountered Shand. The agent documented that he had performed a traffic stop on a white-colored passenger van with Missouri license plates at approximately 8:30 a.m., less than 1 mile south of the U.S.-Canadian border in a rural area between the official ports of entry at Lancaster, Minnesota, and Pembina, North Dakota. That location is in the state of Minnesota, approximately 7 miles northeast of St. Vincent, Minnesota. Shand was driving the van, and there were 2 passengers inside. The agent asked for identification and determined that the passengers were undocumented Indian nationals, whereupon he arrested them on immigration charges. Another agent arrived on the scene and arrested Shand for a violation of Title 8 United States Code, bringing in and harboring certain aliens. While Shand and the two Indian nationals were being transported to the PEMBINA Border Patrol Station in North Dakota, other Border Patrol agents discovered 5 additional Indian nationals approximately a quarter mile south of the Canadian border, walking in the direction of where Shand was arrested. Border Patrol determined that all were illegally present in the United States. The agent attempted to interview Shand, but upon being advised of his rights, Shand declined to speak with law enforcement. A driver of a snow removal truck reported to Border Patrol that he had encountered Shand earlier in the morning of January 19th in a white-colored passenger van stuck in the snow-filled ditch near where Shand was later arrested. The driver pulled the van out of the ditch with his truck and spoke with Shand. He stated Shand told him he was on the way to Winnipeg to visit friends. The driver noticed 2 passengers in the van who he believed were of Indian descent. Concerning the circumstances surrounding Shand's arrest, I know that Shand had driven a long distance from Minneapolis and was encountered driving in a rural area on a dirt road in an area far away from any services, homes, or a port of entry into Canada. He was driving through blowing snow and snowdrifts. The weather was severe at the time with high winds, blowing snow, and temperatures well below zero. I understand that the area is also known by the Border Patrol as a high incident area for human smuggling. An agent reported there were recently 3 separate incidents of human smuggling that occurred at the same location where Shand was arrested. The agent himself had observed boot prints in the snow made by 3 individuals who had walked across the U.S.-Canadian border at that location on January 12th. Agents said the 3 sets of boot prints were made by the same brand of boots and that the prints matched the brand of the types of boots worn by the 5 of the 7 foreign nationals arrested in the current smuggling event where Shand was arrested. I observed photographs of the boot prints and saw they did appear to be the same tread style as the boots being worn by the arrested foreign nationals. The 2 previous smuggling events were discovered by Border Patrol agents observing footprints in the snow. 2 groups of 4 appeared to have walked across the border into the U.S. and were picked up by someone in a vehicle. The estimated date of these 2 events were December 12th and 22nd of 2021. Related to the December 12th event, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police reported that a backpack was found at what was believed to be a drop-off point for the illegal border crossers. Inside the backpack was a price tag showing a price in rupees, Indian currency. The group of 5 Indian nationals found after Shand's arrest had walked across the border expecting to be picked up by someone on the U.S. side, according to one of the 5, whose name was VD. VD estimated his group walks approximately 1 kilometer south from where they were dropped off in Canada and then had been walking for approximately 11 and a half hours. VD was in possession of a backpack that did not belong to him. VD said that he was carrying the backpack for a family of 4 Indian nationals that earlier had been walking with this group. VD said the family was already at the drop-off location when he arrived. The backpack contained children's clothes, diaper toys, and some children's medication. VD said that his group had become separated from the family during the night. He did not know where the family was. Later on January 19th, Border Patrol received a report from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police that 4 bodies were found frozen just inside the Canadian side of the international border. The dead bodies were tentatively identified as the family of 4 that was separated from VD's group in the night. 2 of the surviving Indian nationals sustained serious injuries. A male adult and female adult were taken to the hospital for suspected frostbite. The male was later released from the hospital, but the female was life-flighted to a larger hospital and will likely require partial amputation of one hand from exposure due to the extreme cold weather conditions. The female also stopped breathing several times while being transported by Border Patrol. The investigation into the deaths of the 4 individuals in Canada is ongoing, along with an investigation into a larger human smuggling operation of which Shand is suspected of being a part. For example, the agent says, I know that one of the Indian nationals provided limited information to Border Patrol. He reported that he paid a significant amount of money to enter Canada from India under a fraudulently obtained student visa. He did not intend to study in Canada, but rather to illegally enter the United States. He had crossed the border into the United States on foot and had expected to be picked up by an individual who would drive him to his uncle's residence in Chicago. Unquote. That's from the criminal complaint. Again, the investigation into all this continues after a family of 4 dies of exposure along the Canadian border this week. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.